Welcome to today's conversation. Young and visionary, young and impactful, young and transformational. A series of conversations we're having towards the 25 under 25 Future Forward Female Awards started by the movement. You are welcome online. Come on, jump in, share this with your friends, your family, share this with, your comrades, share this with future forward females as well, and tell them, you know what, you got to join this conversation because we are talking with women who are changing their world. Welcome on board, Samuel Bello. Welcome, Simi. Welcome, Destiny. You are all welcome to the conversations. Go ahead, spread the word. And today we will be talking to the visionary, to the transformational, to the awesome, and more importantly, lovely Lady Bodam Taiwo. Give her a hand. Wherever you are, give her a big hand. The last time we spoke about one of the examples of what a future forward female under the age of 25 in the continent of Africa look like. And we talked with Temilade Adelakun. If you haven't seen that video, please go right ahead and watch it right after this one, okay? Not before this one, no, right after this one. We spoke with Temilade, and today we will be talking to a real life awardee because this is our second go around. We had the first set of Future Forward Female awardees, and then there was no age limit or bracket, but today we will be talking to one of the original Future Forward Female awardees from the Hall of Fame. Let's welcome in the chat, Lady Bodam Taiwo. And wherever you are, give her a hand. You are welcome, favored, and your journalist sister. Hello, hello. The glow is real. The glow is blinding, but we're here for the glow. Somebody say in the chat, we're here for the glow. We came to glow up. Hello, Lady Bodam. How are you today?
I am good. I am doing amazing. Thank you.
I love it so much.
How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. It's a lovely Friday afternoon. Wow, it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's every other day, but thank God it's Friday in particular. Okay, we have people commenting. They say glow ray. And if you don't know, in Yoruba language of Nigeria, it means like the glow is like overflowing. Oh my gosh. Okay, you're welcome to today's conversation, Lady Buddha. And of course, we know each other, but many people may not know that you are the head of portfolio in one of the leading beverage companies in the country, actually, on the continent, I rephrase. You are also the founder of the Refined Lady Movement, the author of the beautiful book, and you are the convener, I would almost say the facilitator of these crucial conversations that you are leading groups of women to both powerfully and vulnerably have. How did you become this person? Who are you? Could you tell us in a nutshell who the essence of the Lady Bodam Taiwo?
Oh, Bralade, it's always a joy to speak with you. Let me say that first of all, honestly, such a joy.
Is it
And
joy to see?
hello, everyone. Good evening. It is really an honor to be here today. And when Bralade says I should say who Lady Bodam is in a nutshell, I love to say my people are in the comments and they want to distract me now. Let me focus.
Hello, Toby.
Anyway, I love to say that the reason I'm here on this earth is to bring and be an elegant burst of light to my world, right? So everything that I do is about bringing light, whether it's to women, whether it's with the brands that I'm building. Everything that I do is just to showcase this whole world of beauty and refinement and elegance and excellence in everything that I do, right? So that's me in a nutshell. And I really believe I'm on this earth as a builder. So
Mm,
I build fantastic
mm,
plans. I help women step into who,
mm.
right? I break down walls so that we can have all of these vulnerable type of conversations. It's just all about building. So whenever you meet me, I want you to leave me feeling built up and encouraged and strengthened and seen. And that's who I am in a nutshell.
Wow. That whenever anyone has an interaction with you, that's what you're seeking. In fact, that's their experience inevitably when they leave you in whatever expression that you're in, right? Wow, awesome. So last year you were one of our inaugural Future Forward Female awardees. Tell us, how did that feel? And what has that meant to you? What do you think? Yeah, what has that meant to you? What does it mean to well, we'll come to that in the second question because I want to know what it means to you as well as what it means to our continent to have women that we're lifting up as beacons. And if you like, you can take it both together.
Okay. I believe getting that
Start
award,
with your own, sorry.
my own.
Yeah.
Okay. What did it mean to me? I think first off, it was validation.
Mm,
Now, all the things that I do, I would do them anyway. I would do them regardless, right? I would speak and teach and coach and build and mentor. All the stuff that I do, I would do it
mm,
because it sets my heart on fire. But what that what that award meant to me was just validation. I felt
mm.
seen,
Yeah.
right? I felt that things that I'm doing are relevant and are needed in our time and in our generation.
Wow.
Because sometimes, rather than can I be honest on this call?
Very,
Am I
very.
okay?
This is the space. This is the space. Yeah.
You know, a lot of the time as women, we feel less than. Yeah? Or some of the time as women, we feel less than. Especially if you're a woman who lives on the African continent, number one. Especially if you're an older single woman who lives on the African continent.
Yes.
Everybody says to you, you know, you're doing amazing stuff, but there's always a but that's put in because it's like you're not complete because you know what I'm saying? Okay, and let me know in the comments what
Mhm.
you're talking about. And this, so all the things that I do, all the work that I do, receiving this to me was just like you're seen and what you're doing is relevant and it's needed in this time and in this
Wow.
dispensation. And then when I looked at the women I was being awarded with, I was like,
That was a lineup.
you know, because they're amazing, doing such phenomenal things in each of their various spheres. And we're also different. So we're not all, some of them are career women, some of them are business women, some of them are
Yes.
social
Yes.
entrepreneurs. We're so different. But in all our differences, there was still just such relevance. And I think when I think of the Future Forward female movement beyond the awards,
Mm.
that is what it is. It's the celebration of every woman and at the same time the celebration of a certain type of woman. It's not just about, you know, and those who've heard me would say, I'm not your bang on the head type of, you know, feminist as to what feminist that's not really me. And we'll take that conversation later because that's not for tonight, right? But what the Future Forward female movement is it's beyond feminism. It's the celebration of humanism. And it's the celebration
Mm.
of power that we carry when we really are entire whole women. That's what it is.
Mm.
It's a movement that just sort of just redefines the narratives of who it is we are.
And the
Every
power.
everything
Mm.
that you have to be, yeah, it just breaks down the scripts that we were handed when we were kids and we said
Mm.
this is you know,
Okay.
you're a young woman, maybe you're pretty, you're gonna get married
Yeah.
at 25, you know, have 3.5 kids and live in a white picket fence and travel every summer, and that's amazing. My friends also call me enjoyment minister, so I'm all for that life. But we need to begin to redefine the narratives, especially when we're speaking to the younger generation,
Yes, ma'am.
because we've so them a tale of what a soft life means, and we've sold them a tale of what it is to enjoy and just live life just for yourself. There's so much more to life than it is about. It's really redefining the narrative and expanding the possibilities, modeling a different type of world for women, is what I'd say.
The thing is so deep that I went from smiling to frowning. Like, my gosh, that hit. Redefining womanhood, redefining your power. Some of the best movies you will watch, they'll tell you that those brilliant actors, it happened in an unscripted moment. And you mentioned some keywords of script, right? These things, when you think this is the way your life's supposed to go, you now confine yourself that way. The best actors that make the killer moments, they do something completely off script. Or maybe they ask the director and say, "Hey director, can I try something? I just have this idea. Can I try?" And they're like, "Sure." So Future Forward Female, the movement is almost conferring upon you that power to be like, you know what? You don't need to fit into any box. The box of wife, the box of mother, the box of even engineer, the box of, sister. There's not the one box that can contain the diversity of the divine expressions within you. And Lady Bodam, you have made that clear, because you have taken it a step further. You, by all, intents and purposes, are a leading career executive and an industry expert in your field. However, you have things like the raw conversations, you have things like the refined movement. We were watching your, if you haven't watched her reel, it's also on the page. Go back and go watch it. And you were speaking to some of your accomplishments from fundraising for people suffering with HIV/AIDS, or whether it's for young women. So there have obviously been diverse facets of impact for you. What is it that fuels this thing, that your excellence, your impact goes even beyond your industry or your job, or the boxes, right, created for you? What is it that fuels that, and which one are you most proud of? If you like, you can speak to any of your expressions.
I would say, Brother Day, I want to die empty. I
Hey.
say this all the time. So, there are there are people who are given one gift. Some people were given 5 gifts. I'm given multiple gifts, more
Wow.
than 5. I do not want to get to my last day on this earth and then I'm regretting that I didn't express one of the parts of me. So what fuels me? 2 things. Number 1, I'm living for the audience of one, and that one is not me, right? I'm accountable to somebody. 1. And number 2 is I want to die empty. I want to pour out myself. I want to, when people say, I want to leave my legacy or leave my footprints in the sands of time. I'm not leaving anything in sands of anything, because if the wave comes, the sand is no. I am going to leave such an imprint of myself in the very fabric of society. That's what keeps me going. That's what gets me up at night. That's what makes me power through on days that are difficult. I want to go. I want to pour out all of my gifts on this earth. I want everybody who, and I said it at the beginning, the generations who are attached to me, I want to see them rise. For too long, we've had women who are subpar, women who make excuses, or people in general who make excuses for why they are the way they are. Lady Bodam, you don't understand. I went through ABCD. Lady Bodam, you don't get it. When I was 18, this happened. Lady Bodam, I had a difficult childhood. At a point, you are responsible for yourself, and you're responsible for your healing. So for me, that's what drives me. I'm tired of hearing the excuses. I've been counseling women for, 15 years, 20 years, thereabouts, right? And I am tired of the constant excuses and the narratives we've told ourselves that it's okay to just live, just live an average life. Yeah.
Because
that's what drives
me.
me.
We're telling others sometimes, but we don't know ultimately we are being. recipient of that news.
It's us. Yes. So I want to see people get up, and say, "Girl, get up," and and really, it's about modeling. I want to shine so brightly, so that I can encourage people that it's okay to shine just as brightly. It's okay for you. Me shining bright doesn't in any way dim your own light. We're all different types of light anyway. I can be a chandelier. You might be a little lampstand. We're all light at the end of the day. You can be a halogen bulb. You can be energy saving. I don't know, right? But we're all light and we're all needed to shine brightly. So that's what I'm going to say.
So tell me about one of these expressions, because I know I caught you in the middle. How did you come up? How did you found the refined lady, and tell me the impact of that one? And if you guys have questions, we will take maybe 1.5 questions. That means you got to be quick.
Okay. So the refined lady move. Now, for those who don't know, I used to be a beauty queen, right? I was crowned in 2005. I was crowned as Miss Malika UK 2005. So maybe this that I have on my head today is reminiscent of when I
crownish
as a beauty queen. But going through that journey, I remember shortly after I was crowned, I thought I was brought up well. I knew how to eat with a fork and knife. But then I started growing in influence, and my pageant, my model trainer would tell me, you need to know the forms of a dress of this. You need to do this. You need to. So it set up something in me, and I had these thick books I had to read, and because if I'm hosting fundraisers and I have ambassadors in attendance, I have to know how to relate with them. I have to know how to have conversations with people, right? Now, I also have a first degree in electronics engineering, and I have a master's in mobile and satellite communications. In my first degree, I was the only female in my class, right? So I graduated as the only woman in electronics engineering in 2006. When I was doing my master's, I was one of 2 women in the class. It was me and one other lady. And both of us graduated as well. This was 2010 or so. And then the question now became, I entered into the world. Now I work in the wines and spirits industry. At the time, let me not say one of the things that I do is in the wines and spirits industry. Yeah. At the time I started in this industry, we were one of very few women around the table. I would enter meetings and I'm in a room with just men. And then there was the subtle narrative that to be heard, to be seen, to be respected, to be taken seriously, you need to behave in a certain way that leans a bit more towards being masculine. And I rejected that narrative with everything in my being. I said, no. If I was going to be a man, I have been created to be a man. But I was created to be a woman. So I'm going to sit and dwell and thrive in my femininity. And that led me on a whole study of what femininity actually is and how thrive being female and being feminine, and I started teaching that to other women, and that's how the Refined Ladies movement was born. It started off as the Esther curriculum, teaching women based on it. I got a whole, and I started teaching women different things about how to become leaders and how to live authentic lives, even as women, essentially. And that's how that movement has been born. And I've trained a lot of women. I've had several clients. I have speak in many places. It just has my heart because I really want to see women thrive without divorcing themselves from any part of who they were created to be.
Wow. And if you haven't participated in any Refined Lady movement, you have to follow Lady Bodam, and you have to sign up to her newsletters. Those newsletters, they're humorous, they are insightful, and they're just fun. They're just like, you get in there, you come out, and you are changed. If your shirt was rumpled, it will be ironed. Like things about you would just have a way of being straightened out. So I love that so much. Thank you so much, Lady Bodam. All right, to this year's Future Forward Female Awards. We are so excited when our visionary leader, Lady Debola Deji-Kuromi, the founder of the Future Forward Female Movement, when she announced this award for this 2023, when she cast the vision and she said, Africa is looking out for 25 of its remarkable young women under 25 doing great things, transforming minds and building systems on the continent. It was phenomenal to me. What was that like for you? What do you think this heralds for our continent? And why do you think everyone should be on board?
So I think for the longest time we underestimated young people, especially on the African continent, right? You know, because of how we are culturally. And I was speaking to about 100 teachers a couple of days ago, and I shared this with them. I said, because of our cultural context on the continent of Africa, typically when big people are speaking, little people keep quiet. When older people are talking, the younger people just hush up and soak in all the wisdom. And what that meant is, for the longest time, power was in the hands of one. You had to, there was 40. When you're 40, maybe it's when you start entering into certain levels of influence. So we underestimated the impact of young people for the longest time. The world has changed. Let's announce that theme. Young people are stepping up and are doing.
The world has changed.
I'm telling you. And if we don't, number one, recognize the amazing things that the young people are doing, number two, encourage them along the path that they're going, and number three, provide some sort of mentorship and guidance for these young people so that they adequately channel their creativity and their brilliance and their intelligence in service of our world, we would lose another generation. And that's why this is so pivotal and important in our time and season. I'm saying, young people, we see you. Young people, you're relevant. Young people, your voice is needed. And young people, shine brightly. Don't wait until you are older, right? Right from when you're young, you can begin to shine and make a difference in your world. That is what this movement really heralds in this time.
This thing you said just really stood out to me. The way people used to take women. They will tell you, no, it's not like we don't respect women. No, it's just that men first, then women. Then it seems to me that the level of stereotyping and discrimination in society in terms of our contributions to innovation and impact is men, women, and then young people. Because we would talk about young people like their brains were of some lower quality or some lesser size.
Yes.
And this is so not true, because we're not even talking about children. Meanwhile, children still have what to contribute. We're talking about young adults from the ages of 16 to 24. How is it that those people, in all of their 16, 18 years, will not have some ideas of innovation? Of course they do. And you just said that again. And this year, because we know that we couldn't possibly know every single one, it's open to the whole continent. You can stand up and be like, I know a young woman in my circle. Or you can stand up and say, I am that young woman in my circle, and nominate her. And of course, we have the forms I know. Lady Bodam, why is this important? Because I hear someone say that, oh, wow, you see, Lady Bodam was Miss Malaika. She was already doing fundraising by this time, talking with ambassadors. I don't know people like that. But of course, I know we've been doing things, but maybe we're not on that level. What would you say to people like that? What should they look for? How should they participate?
I want to say that sometimes we measure our success by another person's yardstick, and that's unfair to ourselves, right? I was having a conversation with my sister and my mom earlier on today, and we're talking about, finances and money, essentially. And I shared with them, I said, listen, let me put a caveat. Do I enjoy money? Of course. Do I enjoy the things money can get from me? Yeah. But I don't live my life by the money that I'm not going to look at Bralade and be like, what, Bralade is making a gazillion dollars. So I'm now going to put myself on so I can make $1 gazillion. No. Do I have a plan for a gazillion
Meanwhile, just amen to $1 gazillion. Just as you were speaking. It just came to my mind to say amen, because since you used my name, Maybe the Lord, perhaps. Okay, carry on.
Right? So do I need what am I measuring myself against? And this is also this whole pressure culture we're under. While I love the and I'm going to balance it out. I love the 30 under 30 list. I love the 25 under 25 list. I love the 40 under 40 list. But you cannot live your life so that you're going to show up on a 30 under 30 list, right? You cannot plan your whole thing hoping and praying, you know what, so I can show up on a 25 under. Your destiny is too precious for that. And what you carry is too weighty. For some people, an incubation period that's longer than others, because guess what? You need to be more seasoned to burst what it is that you're carrying within. When I'm between 18 and 20, as I'm doing all these great things, I was also dancing. So that in case you think Lady Bodam was serious, no, stop, I was not. I had my itty bitty skirts and I was dancing. That was what caught my own heart.
You said dance 2 times. Is it bad?
It's not bad. Maybe how I was doing it. We'll have that
Okay.
Right, but what am I trying to say to you? Celebrate your light and learn to celebrate your own journey. You have to be a cheerleader. There has to come a point where you sit down and you say to yourself, you know what? I'm doing a good job.
I did try.
You know what? I'm looking at my journey. Yes, I'm not where I want to go, but listen, I'm not where I used to be. That's what we want to celebrate with the Future Forward Female 25 under 25 categories. So don't wait and be like, oh my goodness, you know what? We've not solved world hunger. Have you led 3 people in a little study group and then they did A to B? That is being a visionary. Do you see? Have you picked up 2 or 3 people in your community and you said, you know what, these 2 or 3 people, they're going to eat at least 1 meal a day? That's being an impact maker. Have you stood up for a cause that's dear to your heart and you said, listen, I might not be able to reach 5,000 people. I might not even be able to reach 100 people. But in this little newsletter that I'm sending, or to my street, or to the domestic staff in my community, I'm able to speak to them about this issue and tangibly turn things and create my being a transformational voice. Do you love the continent of Africa? Are you like, listen, my heart burns for this place. I want to celebrate our culture and celebrate our rich heritage. Again, you might have a little fashion business that you're doing, with beautiful stuff with Adire and Ashoke and all sorts of things. Then you're a culture ambassador. Let's not go so far. Are you somebody that's living with a disability and you're like, this thing that I'm living with that, that could hold other people down, to me, it's not stopping me. I'm still blazing on all fronts. That is you being a disability champion. What else is there? Are you a person that knows how to serve? You see the vision of somebody else, you're partnering with them, you're like, you know what, I'm here to birth this vision and bring it to life. I'm going to give you my time, my energy, my resources, my ideas, my creativity, my sacrifice. You are a partner in purpose. Are you an entrepreneur that's just blazing all fronts? You have this vision, you're moving after it with intention, with agility. You're a queen of it. Why are we making this thing seem like it's something that it's you? We're actually looking for you. Right? You. So yeah, don't worry that Lady Bodam was doing all this stuff at 25. If you hear Brother D's own accomplishments, ladies, honestly, this woman, I don't even know, right? But because when she tells me some things, I'm like, what was I doing when I was like my own was going? But essentially, we want to celebrate you where you are. We want to see the impact you have in your own community. Don't come and don't try and impress other people or try and impress whatever. We want to celebrate the woman that you are today while you're on the journey to becoming the woman that you will be tomorrow. Make sense?
Makes sense. Absolute sense. So how do we nominate someone? And I know you've even nominated a couple of people. Thank you so much. And I'm actually thanking you on their behalf and on Africa's behalf because we get to see their brilliance. So what is the logistics of the actual nomination itself? How did you find it? And also, what did you look for when you were these people? Could you I know you might not want to share their identity, but can you tell us a little about them so that people get an idea of what that example is?
Okay. So
Meanwhile, it is nominated in the chat. Can you be putting it in the chat as you're listening to Lady Bodam say, I've nominated 1, 2, 10. However, just be putting it in the chat. All right, Lady
We need
Bodam.
to get the nominations coming in because we really want to celebrate these women that are doing great things across Africa and in the diaspora. Now, if you want to nominate, just go to www.futureforwardfemale.com/nomination. And I'm pretty sure it's going to come in the chat pretty soon. futureforwardfemale.com/nomination. You can go to Future Forward Female and click the link in her bio, and it's going to take you right to the nomination page as well. Now, what was I looking for when I nominated people? And I've nominated people, and I'm still going to nominate some other people. I have so many darlings in the comments. I'm excited. Okay, let me focus. Anyway,
We love it.
I nominated one of the awards that set my own heart on fire. All of those categories do something to me, but one that really does something to me is Partner in Purpose, because this woman is someone who, and let me tell you something, ladies, if Bralade were under 25, I would nominate her as a partner in purpose. And I'm not even gassing her up because she's on here with me. If there is a woman who passionately serves the vision of another, that's this babe right here. And the people nominated, the people I nominated, that's what it was.
Wow.
Almost,
I love that.
they've taken the vision of this person that they love and respect and as their own. I have been blessed with people serving my vision and what it is that I like to do. And I've seen people really serve the vision of the other. They have such conviction and such strength in the leader that they're following. They're almost like, look, listen, I'm laying down who I am to see this person rise. There is something so, because we live in a world that can be so full of self, and everybody wants to blow, and everybody wants their own name to be at the front, everybody wants to be celebrated. It takes a certain type of special human to say, I'm going to lay down my own ambitions and desires so I can make you shine and I can make you thrive. I believe enough in what you carry that I'm going to bring all of the best of myself, my gifts, my ability, my talent, my mind, my creativity, my money, and put it at the service of this visionary leader so that her own vision can be brought to life. And it's not her vision, it's my vision, right? Because my vision is that lead. Sometimes we get a vision and not every vision you receive is for you to start. I hope you know. Like, we receive a vision, and it's not, if I receive a vision for I don't know what, it doesn't mean that I'm the one that has to go out and execute it. There may be somebody else that's doing that vision, and it takes discernment and discipline and really an open mind for me to find those people and serve them. So that's Partner in Purpose, and that one is dear to my heart. So I was looking for women who are just like, we're plugged into this leader, we follow the leader, we're serving the leader, we're partnering with this leader. That one is dear. The other one that captures my whole heart is Disability Champion. There is something that says, when everybody doesn't expect anything from you, and you and I know how it is. If you have some sort of a disability, it's like, just leave her. Don't let her not stress herself. You want to do this? No, don't. So you can't. So we sort of are able to lean on this as a crutch. Oh, I am this. I
and
have.
The whole world will understand.
Whole world will understand and make allowance for you because you have a disability.
Only you will know in your soul of souls that in this life you are being mediocre, because you know what has been deposited in your spirit.
So when I see this crop of women who are like, maybe this is what it is that I'm dealing with, but guess what? I was created for more. And whether I have to hobble with crutches, whether I have to, get over myself, whether I'm in a wheelchair, whatever it is, because when you have a disability, Bralade, there are two things you're fighting against. You're fighting against external impression of who it is that you are, Because the minute people see you, they put you in a little box that's labeled disability, and they expect very little thing. On the second thing, you're fighting your own impression of yourself. Because remember, there's conditioning. And from the time you were a baby, if you had a disability when you were growing
Yeah, it's been happening.
yes. So you're now fighting against your own impression of who it is that you are, and then you're fighting against what society says you are. And when I see women who are able to break out of that mold and say, this is not a limitation, it's just one other thing about who it is I am, and they're still able to come across with guts and go after who they were created to be, that is powerful. That whatever you do, that yeah. So those two, I think, caught my heart.
I love it. So the questions, are they too much? Let's say on the nutshell, how many minutes will it take for somebody to complete this nomination? Because they are waiting. They want to know. Once they leave here, that's what they're going to go do, right? I see all your hearts. If that's what you're going to go do, put in the comment, put your hearts in, put your fires in.
It's going to take you probably less than 5 minutes. So let me walk you through the process, right? It's less than 5 minutes. It's less than. You're going to go onto this link I told you earlier, futureforwardfemale.com/nominate. And then you would scroll and click the link that says nominate her. So you can nominate yourself, you can nominate somebody else. You fill in the details of the person. So name, first name, last name, email address. So please get the email address of the person you're nominating, phone number. If you have their social media
important. That's so important.
If you have their social media links, Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, you can put that in there. If you don't have it, just leave it blank. Don't worry. And then just hit submit. Well, and that's it. So we send you an email saying, thank you for nominating. And your nominee will get an email after all the nominations have closed. So nominees are not going to get an email right now. They will get an email after all the nominations have closed with next steps, and they'll be invited to fill out their application package, and we will take it on from there.
So when you nominate them, you can let them know, but you don't need to let them know before you nominate them. I want to encourage you, go ahead and nominate regardless. Some people, you might not even have their emails. You might have just seen them on the gram, and you're like, this person, I want to nominate this person. Shoot that person a DM. Be like, the work you do is so remarkable. This is the link to an award I want to nominate you for. Could you possibly send me your email? Look, those are the kinds of emails that people doing great work want to receive. And I see all our people in the chat, Tara Coco, I see you, Lami Jane, I see you, Albert, I see you, Esther. So many of you, thank you for joining. But more importantly, even after we're done here today, go right to your computer and go put these names in. Don't stop on just the country you're in. If you're in Ghana, you can nominate people beyond. If you're in South Africa, same thing. If you're in Europe, you can nominate someone in Kenya, in Tanzania. Like it doesn't even... It's a whole continent. If you don't know, go now on Google, begin searching and reading things. You'll be so inspired. I tell you, I did it. And for days on end, inspiration was just bubbling in my spirit. Is it that young lady that gathered children on the streets and started teaching them so that they're up to par in school? Is it that young lady that got young women together and started, helping them with personal and professional development? Is it somebody who is doing free medical outreaches? Whatever it is it someone who's involved in building the next artificial intelligence to have African features and African news and a lot of insights that represent the continent, right? And is it that person? We need all of them. We want to represent all of them. And most of all, we want to tell their stories in the 2023 folio. All right, Lady Bodam, what would you tell a 25-year-old, 25 and below young lady listening to us today? And what would you tell yourself before you were 25? What would you tell that lady? And by extension, tell the people on this call who are 25 and below. As we wrap, because this is our wrap.
Okay. I
Okay.
would say you matter, right? I
Mm.
would matter. I would say your voice is needed in this time. And I know a lot of the time we say you matter, and then all the actions we take actually show that you don't matter. But if anything I want to say to a woman who's 25 and under, it's that you matter. Your dreams are valid. Your the desires that are in your heart are not just there for daydreaming's sake. They were put there so that they can lead you to a greater future. So lean into that. I would say embrace discipline and excellence as your watchword. I would say create very early on your personal values and your boundaries, and the lines that you're not going to cross in search of success, whatever that looks like for you. I would say find your sense of self worth. Own and embrace your sense of self worth. You are so precious. And every time I speak to young women, if there's nothing else that sits in your heart or resonates from what I'm saying to you, I want you to hear these words I'm saying clearly. You are precious. You were created. You're on this earth not because there was spare clay and mud and they just slapped something to feel it a statistic. You are here because there's a solution that was hard coded on the inside of you that's needed in your community and in our world today. So my encouragement to you is allow yourself to shine. Commit to going on that hard journey of evolution. Don't let anybody tell you that the journey is going to be easy or soft or whatever. Some days will be great, some days will be hard. So commit enough to yourself and to the future you, right? Commit to your dreams and to your desires. Honor and respect yourself enough that you recognize the things that set your heart on fire and you go single-mindedly in pursuit of those things. And as you do all of that, remember that you're not doing these things to have value. You already have value. You are the value, right? And it's you that we want to see really shining brightly in our world. I'm going to stop here now.
Wow, wow, wow. Give her a big hand. This is how a queen speaks. Just in case you weren't taking notes, this is how. Thank you so much, Lady Bodam, for spending your Friday evening with us. God bless you. We love you. And we'll see you at the award ceremony.
Ladies, listen, I'm going to say one last thing. Again, vote your people in. We're going to announce how you can get access to the award ceremony, but I want to, you have to vote them first so we can have a ceremony, right? And then I want to see all of you, your firing and all of that. But vote, vote, vote. Nominate all the people now. Okay? Okay.
Bye, ladies.
I love